Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is Taliesin McKnight, and today's lesson is meditation. And I'm going to explain what meditation is and give you a very simple method and try to break this down. Meditation is widely used in a number of different spiritual practices. It's very important in religions such as Buddhism. Meditation, there are many different types of meditation, but what we'll be talking about today is concentration, silencing the mind, inner silence. And usually when you hear people refer to meditation, it's really talking about this inner silence. So, meditation is not the same thing as contemplation, where you just think about things. That's not meditation in this context. It is inner silence. It is one pointed concentration upon one object. So, for example, in Buddhism, a very simple meditation is to just close your eyes, get in a relaxed position, and to concentrate on the breath going in and out of the nose. So you just close your mind. This is a Buddhist meditation, very popular. It's a form of samadhi meditation in Buddhism. You just close your eyes and you just breathe normally. And you focus all your attention on the breath going in and out of the nostrils. Focus all your attention on the breath going in and out of the nostrils. Now, this, as easy as this sounds, it's actually very difficult for a lot of people. Because you have to shut out all your thoughts. You have to keep your mind from wandering. So you focus on your breath and just focus on the breath with total concentration. And you avoid your mind wandering off to your day or a memory or thinking about what you're going to eat for supper, whatever. If your attention strays to other things, just bring your attention back to your breath. So this is a way to have inner calm and peace and silence. So instead of thinking about your day or your plans for tomorrow or thinking about what you said to that person at work, just shut all that out and just focus on your breathing. And this is inner silence because you shut up that inner dialogue and it's just one pointed concentration upon the breath. Okay? And it's that simple. That is a very easy form of samadhi meditation in Buddhism. Okay? And there are many different forms of meditation. In yoga, dhyana meditation, you may just focus on any object, preferably a neutral object, this candle. Preferably a small object. What I used to do is simply draw a dot on a piece of paper and stare at that dot. And again, you keep your mind from wandering at all. You just stare at that dot. And when another thought enters my mind or I start thinking about my day, I just let that thought pass like a cloud passes and bring my attention right back to the dot. And then I just try to silence all thought, okay? And meditation is that simple. You can focus on your breath, an object, a dot on a piece of paper. You could visualize something. I personally like to use tarot a tarot image or a symbol, or you can visualize a symbol. Aleister Crowley, he really liked using the tattvas, which are symbols in yoga for the four elements: a crescent for water, a square, yellow square for earth, a fire for triangle for fire. So any way that you focus and concentrate your mind. So what's the big deal about inner silence? How does that help? And in my opinion, it's important for anyone that really wants to develop themselves spiritually to meditate, preferably every single day. Now, I'll be honest, I don't meditate every day. I should. I try to make myself, but I do a lot of different practices every day. But ideally, every single day, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day at least. So what does this do? For one thing, you have inner silence. This is peace and calm. It's taking a few minutes every day to get away from all your problems, all your stress. Just breathe deep and relax. Just clear your mind. You could see how that helps a person to relieve stress. And in our modern society, stress is definitely a major issue today. So, for one thing, it relieves stress. Hold on a second, I'm sorry. For another thing, this is about quieting our logical, analytical mind, just silencing the mind. They say you can't listen while speaking. Basically, you quiet the mind, and when you reach this inner silence, your inner self comes through, or some people believe your higher self. I'm trying not to give any dogma or any specific beliefs, because I try to talk about what different people believe and kind of come to your own conclusion. So I try not to preach any single way of looking at things. But a lot of people believe that your inner self or your higher self or your inner divinity comes to the surface when you silence our everyday consciousness. Just still the mind, that your inner self comes through, or you could say your true self. Okay. Some forms of mysticism, they believe, you pray, but then you reach inner silence. And it's in this silence that God answers back. That's what some people believe, as you get a burst of inspiration or burst of enlightenment. So, inner peace relieves stress, your inner self or higher self comes through. Some people believe when you remove the barrier that gets in the way of our everyday consciousness, just silence the thought and you get this access to direct knowing. Okay. And really, this is a trance state. Okay? It's a trance state. Now, another main reason that people do meditation in their spiritual practice is for what people call enlightenment. Enlightenment, people think of knowledge, seeing truth. Okay? A truth seeker, someone seeking enlightenment. Now, the word enlighten is the word light with input on each, and it's to give light. Okay, it is illumination. So, enlightenment is, in a sense, seeing truth. Enlightenment is not always a rational, logical, linear process. In my experience, bursts of enlightenment is more like an intuition. Like, boom, it hits you and you see. Okay, and I've been meditating for years, so I understand what it's like to have epiphanies, where I don't want to totally go into this, but I've been meditating since I was, I don't know, like 12 years old or 11. And I've had experiences a few times in my life, and it's not like a logical realization of knowledge by logically deductive reasoning. It's a burst where something hits you and it's like you just see. It's really hard to describe. But basically, we're always thinking about the past or daydreaming about the future or thinking about this and that. And our thoughts are constantly going throughout the day. Okay, this is our worldview. This is how we perceive the world. This is how we interact, is our inner world in our minds. When we silence our thought and shut up the chatter for a while, in a sense, it breaks the illusion. Once you start meditating every day, gradually how you used to see the world begins to break down, in the sense that you see through illusions. And by that I mean how you think of yourself, okay, starts to break down. Like, this is my style, and I'm cool, and this is what I'm into, and you build up this kind of ego identity. When you meditate on a regular basis, this starts to break down, and you start to see how illusory some of these self-concepts are. When you meditate regularly, you start to see how illusory some of our attitudes are towards the world, things like that. So basically, we're constantly thinking about the past, the future, thinking, oh, cool, I love this music and listening to that. So we live in this inner world. And when you spend a little time every day to just silence all thought and just be, it tends to break down a lot of our illusions that we create about nature, about ourselves, about who we are. So if you want self-knowledge, if you want to really gain this insight into yourself, who you are, into nature, meditation is extremely important. So instead of just logically, reasoning, instead of just pure rationality, this is this other half, which in my opinion, again, you have opposite approaches, Joachim and Boaz. You have your logically figuring everything out, and then you have silencing that and just being. So this is definitely one of the more spiritual, mystical videos I've made. And in my personal life, I'm personally, I guess, connecting in a way that I haven't in a while. So I'm personally going through changes. I recently quit smoking, and there's just so much I really can't go into, but I'm starting to, anyways. So it just silencing your inner dialogue, the inner chatter all the time, is a way to relieve stress, relax. It's a way to relax, relieve the stress of your day. Silencing your everyday consciousness allows some people believe their inner self or a higher consciousness to come through. It shatters a lot of our illusions. It's a slow, gradual process for most people. Just they start to see through their old superficial ways of perceiving themselves in the world. And it helps you to be in the present moment. And this is a really big idea in like Buddhism, things like that, is that we are constantly remembering the past and daydreaming about the future. Oh, next year, if I get this raise, then I'm going to go on this vacation, whatever. We lose the present reality. Right now, this is reality. when we're in a daydream, not to say the past and the future don't exist, but when we're not present right now with the world, and our mind's constantly, I guess, in the clouds thinking about other stuff, we lose the present moment in the sense that we're not fully here. It's like dreaming in a sense. So it's really hard to really fully convey what I'm trying to say, but in many different ways, meditation relieves stress. It helps a person to evolve spiritually. It breaks down conditioning. It breaks down self-imposed ideas. It shatters a lot of our illusions about the world. And I think it really helps a person to develop. And also it helps a person to develop concentration. So again, very easy to meditate. Just close your eyes. Relax, get in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and just breathe normal and just focus on your breath going in and out of your nose. And when your thoughts start to drift onto other things, just let those thoughts go and bring your attention right back to the breath. So you have an inner silence. You silence or still the mind on one focused thing. And this gives us the ability to concentrate. So that's a form of mental development. Okay? Or you can just stare at a dot on a piece of paper, or anything that you just focus your mind on one thing. Some people like to focus on the center of their forehead, which they call the third eye. So there's lots of different ways you can meditate. It's basically silencing thought. Now, there are other forms of meditation. For example, if you look at Buddhism, there's a loving kindness meditation. And there's Vipassana Bhavana, where you develop equanimity. So there are different other forms, but this is a very basic type of meditation that's very important in many different forms of spirituality. In my opinion, this is definitely one of the most important practices to do every single day for someone that really wants to have spiritual growth. So anyways, that is my rant on meditation, how I view it, how it all works, what it does. It's just concentration. And for someone that wants to work with energy, someone that wants to work with, I guess, occultism, being able to focus the mind on one thing is very important. So that's it, and that is meditation. Again, new video lessons on different esoteric subjects come out every Saturday morning, okay, at 9 a.m. Central Time every Saturday morning. Thank you for joining me. See y'all next time. Have a great day, y'all.